I'm ending this year with the gaslight on. I'm worn out, I'm tired, I don't feel creative, and I don't like the ideas I've been coming up with. And man, my guitar playing, I am stuck. I'm in a total plateau. I've played the same 15 riffs for every YouTube video and I'm out. I'm in. Also, I have just completely run out of money this year in buying. That was the normal recipe, was spend money on a guitar, get a bunch of views, but run out of money. So, man, I just, over and over this year, I kept finding myself arriving at situations where I just don't feel good. I don't feel good enough. I feel unprepared. I'm just caught flat-footed being around exceptional guitar players. Because that's the thing, in the process of making these YouTube videos, I have become friends with really cool guitar players. And every single one of them is better than me. And that doesn't usually bother me, but man, something this year broke in me of just, constantly feeling like both a failure, that I don't work hard enough, that I'm not a good enough guitar player, and that I'm not even kind of worthy of picking up a guitar around people. I just don't feel like I deserve any of it. And what's even worse than that is that I feel like an imposter. Like I am a firmly mediocre guitar player sitting across from like great guitar players, and that feeling sucks. I started making YouTube videos in 2017. I've been at this game for a long time, and when I started making videos, they were clunky and they were bad, but man, I loved them. And okay, truth be told, so I started making videos because I was in Gulf Springs, Mississippi, and I was about to buy, it was a 64, 65, it was an OM28, it was Brazilian Rosewoods, it was an incredible guitar, and I was really excited to buy it, and I was like, oh man, on YouTube, what, advice for buying vintage guitar, or like I was just looking on YouTube for any advice or any help in buying vintage guitars, and I couldn't find any. And so to me, I was like, okay, I just like impulsively borrowed a friend's DSLR and I just ran everything on auto. I bought a microphone off Amazon and I just went off and I did it, and it's a bad video. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to watch it. It's I think it has like 14,000 views, but it was the first video that got me kind of hooked on the idea of like capturing the stories that are worth telling, and then also helping people demystify just the craziness that is the vintage guitar world. Doesn't have to be hard, doesn't have to be complicated, and doesn't have to be expensive. I just bought, this is a 69 D35 that I bought in Louisiana, like maybe 100 miles from that OM28. I bought this one, and I'm super excited about that, and I got a great deal on that. So, confession. I started making YouTube videos because, well, I started making the videos that I wanted to watch, and I just couldn't find anyone else making the videos that I thought would be interesting. I've made over 500 videos at this point, like 8 million views on the channel. This whole thing has really blown up. I really never thought that this was my gig, and I never thought that it would be. I was in a sales job that I loved, and it just worked out that I was in a bunch of small towns in the Gulf South, and so it just worked out for me to go stop in pawn shops and old guitar shops, and somewhere along the way, it just became a viable option to take care of my family, and man, I'm incredibly thankful for that. I'm not coming out of this year feeling any kind of remorse over having spent time doing what I'm doing, but man, when I look at those videos, I've spent this last year making consumer advice and like giving people reviews of new guitars and consumer advice, and that's not what I signed up to do. Like I signed up to tell those meaningful stories, like the stories that set your moral compass, that help you value the right things of people and place, and for you to be generous, and for you to connect with people in different generations than you. That's the stuff I signed up for. Not, is East Indian Rosewood as good as Palfaro? Don't care. I'm over that stuff. For me, I would much rather focus on all of that stuff. So, man, in a lot of ways, I feel like I've lost my way. So here's the thing, like I'm not a virtuoso guitar player. I know that. That's not a surprise to me. I get a shocking amount of comments, people making fun of me for how I play or what I play, or that I play the same things over and over, or that I should take lessons. I'm with you. I get it. If I had bandwidth, I would probably take some lessons. But the reality is I'm not a virtuoso. I'm not even close. Like, I've made the joke before, like, I'm church good. Like, I am the appropriate amount of good for someone that has done this for 24 years. But I love playing guitar. My strategy for playing guitar is that I play guitar to create a soundtrack for the life that I am living and experiencing. Okay, so at no point in my life have I ever felt more undeserving of a trip, of time with each other, of interest or attention from people than last summer when I went to the Czech Republic with KfirOchaion guitars. Now, it was an amazing trip. We were flown, my wife and I were flown from the US to the Czech Republic. We got to spend 9 days, I think 7 days in the Czech Republic, and then we had 2 days in Austria at the end. We got to stay and hang out in Vienna for a little bit. And this is where I met Kafir, and this is where I met Carlos. Carlos runs a channel called Guitarra Viva. He's in Spain, and so Kafir's in Israel. And so I met these two guys, and admittedly, I didn't know, like, I recognized Kafir, but I hadn't seen Carlos before because Carlos's channel is all in Spanish. But, man, I very quickly, subtly Googled both of them and found, like, oh, they have millions of subscribers. And I looked at my 35,000 at that point and thought, why am I here? Like, why would they invite me? Why would they spend all this money to bring me across the world to talk about their guitars? And just by every observable metric between who they are, how they play guitar, what they talk about with guitar, how many people pay attention to their videos, just in every data point, I just felt deficient. I felt unworthy. That didn't go away. That was with me the whole trip. I always felt like an imposter and I didn't deserve it. And I had to really work through a lot of that while I was there. Now, while we were at KfirOchaion, one of the coolest things, they had this big party that was celebrating what was going on in their world. And so they brought people from all over the world, dealers and artists and YouTubers, and they brought people together to just party and celebrate and see the factory, smell the guitars, play some guitars, and just enjoy life in the Czech Republic. And it was super, super cool. Now, at that event, there was this big tent, and in the tent, there was a cover band. Now, the cover band played, and at the end of their set, someone from KfirOchaion came up and said, hey, we'd like to have all the YouTubers come up and jam. And my heart literally fell to the ground. Like, I don't lack for confidence, but in the moment where I was like, these dudes are amazing guitar players with millions of subscribers, I am a hillbilly. Like, I do not belong here. And so we walked up on stage. Kafir took a Les Paul. Carlos took a cool Rickenbacker into a Vox. And I was handed a Gretsch 12-string acoustic. And oh boy. So we started playing a Led Zeppelin tune. I didn't know what key the song was in. I couldn't hear my guitar in the monitors. And so I did what any seasoned amateur musician would do. And I smiled real big and I slowly turned the volume down on my guitar to where it couldn't be heard at all. And I just faked it. I went straight carpool karaoke on this thing and just pretended because I literally couldn't hear anything. And I would rather not be heard than be heard and be bad. That just seemed to be like my main out. Now, after that song, we then kind of put our heads together, and it was a hilarious moment, and there were some beers involved, but it was so fun kind of trying to figure out the Venn diagram between an Israeli who loves Guns N' Roses and a Spaniard who loves the Beatles, and then me, who just loves, like, 90s female pop, femme pop. The Venn diagram that we came up with was Israeli, Spanish, Virginia. We came up with the Cranberries. We came up with Zombie by the Cranberries, and this might have been one of my favorite moments, and that's where this whole thing turned, where I stopped feeling like an imposter, and I was like, oh, there's a thing here. Like, I have some value to add to the world. Here's the thing. I talk to you guys all of the time. I talk to people that watch my YouTube videos, that comment on Instagram, that follow me on Facebook, that do all of these ways of interacting. And here's the thing. None of us are virtuosos. Maybe a couple of us are really exceptional guitar players. But for the most part, most of us are very normal and just ordinary guitar players. And here is the deepest possible truth I can share with you. And I have thought about this for 6 months. I finally sat down tonight and just wrote out these thoughts and worked through this. The world does not need virtuoso guitar players. We need ordinary guitar players. Like a car driving towards you on a dark highway with their high beams on, virtuosos, they are so bright and they're so extravagant that they distort reality. They disorient you from your relationship to the world around you, and it's not until that they pass that you feel your eyes adjust back to the light and you realize, whoa, like that was cool, but it was also risky. And now what I don't need another car blaring at me with high beams. What I need are street lights. I need lights to guide the way home. That's ordinary guitar players. That's what we need. Simply put, the world needs ordinary guitar players. We need bright beacons of hope and joy in every bar and church and farmer's market and wherever your guitar takes you. And listen, we don't need virtuosos. We don't need the best, but we do need the willing. Wherever your guitar takes you, you are the answer to a lot of the things that people need. People need relief, they need joy, they need fun, they need levity, they need songs that remind them of the good days, songs that remind them of the better times. Tub thumper? Wow. We don't need the best guitar players, but we do need the willing. Now, if you're doing goal setting for this year, you definitely do need to work on your guitar playing. I need to work on my guitar playing. I am woefully behind where I want to be, but man, I want you to join with me to be a keeper of the light. To be the best guitar player in the best place that you are. Because the best place for you is the place that you probably are already standing. I remember when life was particularly hard. My mom died when I was 20, very unexpectedly. I had to raise my little brother. My dad fell to pieces. My brother was out of the country. My other brother was out of the country. My other brother was in school far away. I found out that I had to have a defibrillator implanted, that my heart condition was the same heart condition that my mom had. I knew that, but it had killed her and they were afraid it was going to kill me. I started losing weight in life. I started trying to take better care of myself. I pushed myself too hard while trying to lose weight and swimming in a pool, and I ended up going into cardiac arrest and I died. I was gone for 5.5 seconds. And I'll tell more of that story at some point. But a few weeks after that, I called a friend of mine. And I was like, I think I just need to move, man. I think I'll just come to Texas where you are. I'll just move to Texas. Life will be better. And I mean, because it seems like things are good there. And I could probably get a job and I could probably do stuff. I'll finish college at some point. And my friend immediately said something that is incredibly important. And I think it's the same thing where how I want to land the plane on this video is, he said, hey man, I think a lot of people think that the grass is greener on the other side. And the truth is, if your neighbor is taking care of the grass and watering it and feeding it and paying attention to its needs, it's definitely going to be greener. But you are solely responsible for the grass under your feet. If the grass under your feet is dead and dried up and just parched, that's on you. But you have everything you need to take care of that grass. And so you need to pay attention to what's going on in your life, in your world, around you, and just dig deep, figure out how to bring water, bring life back to that. And it was a really good thing. I needed to hear that. And so I think for us too, I think that we are in it together. I think that for us, the grass is greenest. I'm really, really proud of the community that Guitar Hunter has had spring up around it. And I love that it's not virtuoso guitar players. I love that there is not this contest of who's the best player. Of all of the accomplishments that have come out of this, that's the thing I'm the most happy for. That I've had just the tiniest ability to change the guitar culture from, look at me, I'm an amazing guitar player, to listen to this story, value this guitar, look at this young builder, check out this person playing on this record. The community and the vitality and just the companionship of this string of streetlights that help orient people in their lives to good and meaningful things that are worth following and paying attention to. So, thanks for being a keeper of the light. I'm Jeremy. This is Guitar Hunter. 2023 has some amazing things coming, and I'll make another video telling you about that soon. Some big things are happening in this space and what I'm doing with most of my time during the week, and it's the biggest and loftiest project I've ever undertaken. So thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy. I am the Guitar Hunter. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, and click out the link in the description down below if you're interested in any of the guitars I'm selling, the courses I sell, any of those things. Thanks for watching this video. It's a good day to be alive.